In the time it takes you to read this sentence, an AI system somewhere just finished a task that used to take a human employee an entire afternoon. That's not a threat, that's a shift. And shifts like this have happened before. The printing press didn't end communication, it ended the job of the scribe and created an entire publishing industry. The calculator didn't end math, it ended the job title computer, which used to mean a person, and created engineering as we know it today. By 2028, AI will do the same thing to a specific set of jobs. Some roles will genuinely disappear, but history is clear about what happens next. New roles appear, usually paying better, usually requiring judgment instead of repetition. So today, we're not doing a doom video, we're doing a map. Which jobs are changing, and more importantly, what actually replaces them? This is FutureLens. Let's get into it. Data and administrative work. Let's start with the roles already changing the fastest. Basic data entry, the kind of job that involves copying numbers from one system into another, is already being absorbed by AI agents that can read a document and enter the data themselves, with far fewer errors than a tired human at hour 7 of a shift. Entry-level customer support is following the same path. Simple tickets, password resets, order status, basic troubleshooting are increasingly handled start to finish by AI before a human ever sees them. Here's the optimistic part. This isn't eliminating the customer support career, it's eliminating the boring 80% of it. The humans left in these roles increasingly handle only the complex, emotional, or judgment-heavy cases, the conversations that actually need a person. Early data from companies making this shift shows support teams getting smaller, but the remaining roles paying more and requiring more skill, not less. Creative and content work. This one's personal for a lot of creators watching this channel, so let's be honest about it. Entry-level copywriting, the kind of writing that fills product descriptions and basic marketing copy, is now something AI can do adequately in seconds. Junior graphic design tasks, like resizing an ad for 10 different platforms, fall into the same category. But here's what the data actually shows. Demand for skilled human creative direction hasn't dropped, it's shifted. A brand new role has exploded in the last 2 years, the AI content editor, someone who knows exactly which AI output is genuinely good and which one just looks good at first glance. That's a real skill, and right now it pays surprisingly well because very few people are actually good at it yet. The creators who struggle aren't the ones using AI. They're the ones who never developed a strong enough eye to know what good looks like in the first place, because that judgment is the entire job. Entry-level legal and financial work. Now to a field that surprised a lot of people, law and finance. Paralegal work that involves reviewing hundreds of pages of contracts for specific clauses is now something AI does in minutes at a level of thoroughness a tired human reviewer can't consistently match. Basic financial auditing, checking transactions against expected patterns, is following the same trend. Here's the important nuance. Licensed professionals, actual lawyers, actual accountants aren't disappearing. If anything, they're becoming more valuable because they're now spending their time on judgment calls, negotiation, and strategy instead of manually reading page 400 of a contract. The entry point into these careers is genuinely changing, but that's opened a new lane entirely. AI-assisted legal and financial analysts, people who verify, interpret, and add context to what the AI produces. It's a faster, different path into these fields, not a closed door. Transport and logistics. This is the most physical shift on this list, and also one of the most gradual. Certain long-haul trucking routes, highway-heavy, predictable, well-mapped, are the first candidates for autonomous systems, alongside repetitive warehouse tasks like sorting and moving inventory. But the timeline here is slower than people assume, and that gap creates opportunity. By 2028, expect a genuinely new job category to be well underway: autonomous fleet supervisors and robotics maintenance technicians, people who manage, troubleshoot, and fine-tune these systems at scale. Someone has to keep the robots running, and right now, almost nobody is trained for that job yet, which means it's wide open for anyone who starts learning now. What doesn't disappear and why? So what's actually safe? The pattern is consistent across every industry we just covered. Jobs built on trust, physical adaptability in unpredictable environments, and complex human judgment hold up the best. A therapist reading a room, a nurse adapting to a patient in real time, a skilled electrician working in a building nobody's mapped in software. These roles don't disappear because AI is excellent at pattern recognition on clean data and terrible at navigating messy, unpredictable, deeply human situations. The honest takeaway: the safest career move isn't avoiding AI, it's picking up the skills that make you the person who directs it. The new jobs appearing right now. Here's the part that should actually make you optimistic. Every wave of automation in history has created more jobs than it destroyed, just not always the same jobs and not always for the same people. This wave is already following that pattern. Prompt engineering and AI workflow design, literally the skill of getting AI systems to produce excellent, reliable results, didn't exist as a career 3 years ago. Now it's one of the fastest growing skill listings on job boards. AI auditing and verification, checking AI output for accuracy, bias, and safety, connects directly to something we covered in our last video: the verification economy. As AI produces more of the world's content and decisions, someone has to check its work, and that someone is a human with the right training. And AI training and fine-tuning specialists, people who take a general AI model and shape it for a specific industry, whether that's healthcare, law, or customer service, are in high demand right now, with far more open roles than qualified people to fill them. None of these jobs required a computer science degree 2 years ago. Most of them still don't. They require curiosity, a willingness to learn the tools early, and the judgment to know when the AI got it right. So here's the real headline: 2028 isn't the year AI takes your job. It's the year the job market finishes reorganizing around a simple question: which parts of work actually need a human, and which parts never really did? The people who come out ahead aren't the ones who resist that shift. They're the ones who see it coming early enough to move toward it. If you want to keep seeing where this is heading before everyone else does, subscribe to FutureLens. See you in the next one.